Well, hello. I'm Pandi of Pandi's Hair Candy and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If you are already chat family with me, welcome back. This is my Iyanla Season 7, Episode 2, titled House of Chaos, Recap and Review. Over here, for the most part, you all know this is a variety channel. I offer a host of different types of content. For the most part, I am all about hair, both natural hair as well as wigs. However, I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, product reviews, trending recaps, as well as game nights. So it's overall a variety channel, okay? But again, tonight's video is actually going to be my Iyanla Fix My Life. We're in Season 7, Episode 2, and it is titled House of Chaos. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this recap. If you didn't do so on your way coming in, please make sure that you blow dry on that like button for your girl. I would greatly appreciate it. If you really enjoy this commentary, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free 99 after all. All right. So, in this episode, we began with the mother of 8, Christy. Christy wrote into the Iyanla show looking for peace with her 8 children, to spend time with her new husband. But when the family opens up about their problems, it's quickly revealed that the behavior of the kids is beyond anyone's control. So Iyanla starts off the episode by telling us that this is a story of a mother who abandoned her children for apparently no reason. Christy, who was age 47, shows up with her eldest son, her husband Dimitri, who's 31 years old, and her 2 youngest children. We have 17-year-old son Christopher and 21-year-old daughter Amber. They are all apparently living under one roof. So they're all sitting down with Iyanla, having that initial meeting. And what immediately pops out to me is that the eldest son, Christian, seems to be the main one, opening up and sharing information, basically trying to get some sort of resolve on behalf of the rest of the family. Now, he's saying that he doesn't want to see his sister basically repeat the same issues that his mother went through and end up with 7 to 8 kids. At that point, Christy, the mother, chimes in to say that her and her husband spend most of their time micromanaging adults who don't act like adults. If you want to know the end, you're going to have to look at the beginning, is what Iyanla chimes in and tells her. So Iyanla then sits down to ask the daughter, 21-year-old Amber, what has your mother taught you about becoming a mom and being a woman, and in particularly being in a relationship? Her response is that she's pregnant now, and she also has a 1-year-old child, yet she's living with her mother. Christopher, who is the 17-year-old son, he's also living at home with the family. However, he's living a very reckless lifestyle, like he's into drugs and, kind of getting into trouble here and there, and he's just kind of wavering through life. Now, her response again was, and I'm going back to Amber, she felt like what her mom taught her was everything that she doesn't want to be. Yet, what's showing up in her actual day-to-day life is that she's going down the same path, which we'll later uncover. Now, it turns out that Christy actually left when her eldest son, Christian, was 12 years old. She's there to discuss her marriage and the current dysfunction, But the reality of it all is there's years of unresolved hurt and disappointment that go way further than this new marriage. Now, next we see Iyanla basically break away to go talk with Amber in more detail, and she's very sad. Like, you can just see the sadness on her face. And she sees the similarities in herself, that basically she is mirroring down the same path that her mother went down. She wants to go into nursing school. So Iyanla kind of tries to, coach her and encourage her to pursue that goal. Next, one of the life coaches on staff for the Iyanla show is in speaking with Christy, the mother, who's having some sort of episode, like she's breaking down and she doesn't want to do it on camera. When they kind of calm her down, she shares that she was molested as a child, but she's having problems acknowledging. Iyanla asks her what her mother told her about being a woman, and she's dealing with a lot of blame. Like, she's kind of shutting down at this point. She doesn't want to share, and she doesn't even want to go into any type of detail about what it is and what type of trauma and violation she actually suffered. So the pain of these children's mother's absence has left the children basically emotionally abandoned, and she just kind of comes back from being gone for this long period of time, and it's just like they're teens at this point, and the eldest son is now an adult, a young adult, and she's expecting them to pick up and be this happily ever after family, and it's just not working out that way. So next we then see Iyanla sit down with Dimitri, the husband of Christy, the mother, and the first thing she asks is what he's doing in the situation. He acknowledges the fact that they do have issues due to the age difference. Again, he's 31 and she's 47. Iyanla explains to him that a woman with 8 kids is never going to be able to make relationship plans basically without resolving the issues of the abandonment of her children that she had way before their relationship. She also asked him, how does Christy tolerate him putting his foot down? And his response to that was she doesn't tolerate it well. And this is where we learn that she's very controlling over him verbally. So when she brings them back together and gives them an assignment to work on, she lets them know that basically they'll be working on it in separate areas for the remainder of their stay. Now, when Iyanla asks her before she lets them go, does she know that she scares him with her mouth? She says yes, yet she still does it. So Iyanla takes his phone and then she sends him on about their business, but she stresses to him that he needs to put his foot down as the man and as the head of this household. So the next day we see Iyanla come back to meet with Christy to regroup, and she's still stuck in that place of violation that she received as a child. Iyanla asks her if she feels ready to divulge this information to the children, and she's not. In fact, she doesn't want them to know about it at all. But Iyanla tells her that she has to share this with them as part of their healing process as well as her own. Even if it's not right now, but she ultimately does have to share this information. Now, Iyanla explains to her that her now adult children are stuck in their place of abandonment, and they don't just get healed just because she's back in their life. So Christy is acknowledging that she does need to address the abandonment with the children, and they agree that she needs to start with her eldest son, Christian. So next we see Christy and Christian sitting down, of course, with Iyanla. They're facilitating, and Iyanla is kind of trying to help him frame their beginning statement. So she tells him to begin the statement with, "Let me tell you how I felt when my mother left," and go from there. So he goes into this story, and it was so heartbreaking. He was crushed. He witnessed domestic violence. His heart was broken. She apologizes to him for leaving him feeling broken and pretty much asks him for forgiveness. She wants to work on whatever it takes to mend their relationship. And their session actually went really well. They ended up hugging, and it was very affectionate and lovingly, so it looked like there was a breakthrough there. Next, Iyanla sits down with the 17-year-old Christopher and the 21-year-old Amber, and she senses that it's going to be a totally different type of beast. She starts by asking what they would like to see differently when they leave from here today. They're both very generic with their responses, and the youngest son acknowledges that his biological dad used to, and I quote, beat the brakes off his mother. So he doesn't judge his mom for any of her decisions. His daddy was a street hustler. He sold dope. He was in and out of jail. Yet his mama was a ride or die chick. She was right there with him in everything he did. He feels that her leaving them was the smartest decision that she could make for herself in order to progress. Iyanla tells him that is absolutely wrong and that everyone that should have been responsible for him has failed him. In fact, she's failed, or they failed the both of them. But it's clearly evident that these two are also hiding or withholding information. So Iyanla, of course, is frustrated because it's been 2 days and she's not really making any progress with his family. So she goes back to Christy pissed that it's taken for the youngest child to tell her that there was someone in the home selling drugs and beating her. She immediately goes into defense mode, pointing out that the drugs were sold outside of the home, but still sold nonetheless. She was loyal to the game. She basically had a dope boy, and she was loyal to that instead of to the kids. Typical, sad, unfortunate street story. She starts breaking down, and Iyanla tells her to put her big girl panties on. She can't show up weaker than her kids. She brings her back to the 2 children. And, the youngest son is hurt because he never understood why she didn't take them with her. So she tries to work that situation out with them. And they finally decide, we're approaching the final day. Right now, we're going to kind of take a break from the mother and children, but she's going to meet with now Christy and Demetrius, the husband, so they can have their one-on-one session with Iyanla. And this is where he shares that he cannot continue living with her like this. She's basically used to dealing with roughnecks. She's not used to dealing with a gentler spirit in a man. And she explains that since they have years of wounds, that they need to air things out as a group and just kind of try to resolve things from there. But she also makes sure that Christy understands exactly what it is Dimitri's saying. Like, if she doesn't work on her level of respect and communication with him as a man, she's going to end up losing her new husband. So when they all sit down as a group, Christopher explains right off the bat, just like a typical 17-year-old boy, that he has no respect for Dimitri. He feels like he's not doing enough to take care of his mother. Amber expresses that she feels like the mother needs to quit acting like a friend and be more like a parent. Dimitri tells Christopher that he's very disrespectful to him and his mother, and Christy shares in that same opinion. The only one I found odd didn't really voice anything during that meeting was the eldest son, which was Christian. Now, at the end, Dimitri did tell Christian, hey, if you're ever feeling any type of way towards me, pull me to the side and let's work through things like men should. So after this session, they all kind of tossed their cards, the little problem cards that they started off with in the beginning, into the fireplace. And they basically all seem like they're pretty much willing to work through the situations going forward. to try to exercise better communication and be more accountable about their own actions as well as to each other. So basically, overall, this was a story about chaos and what happened during the unexplained absence of a mother, and basically about how damage and brokenness can truly and in fact be healed if you come together all on one accord, genuinely wanting to improve the circumstances and the situation. And that is pretty much where this episode ended, you all. I thought it was a pretty good session. It didn't get overly messy. It wasn't dramatic. It was pretty much cut and dry. This family had a lot of brokenness, a lot of wounds, a lot of damage. And it took some prying to get things out in the open. But once they did come out, there wasn't a lot of denial or anything like that. So I feel like this family will be all right. If they stick to the counseling and get the tools that'll equip them to move forward, they'll be able to get through this. So that is my take on Season 7, Episode 2, Iyanla Fix My Life. I hope that you all have enjoyed. Drop down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm Pandi of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. Until the next time, y'all, I will see you in the next video. You all stay safe out there, stay encouraged, and love on yourself as well as others. Bye-bye.